Welcome to Hair Hero, the podcast where we dive deep into the minds of the best in the business to uncover what makes them tick and sometimes what makes them twitch. I'm your host, Ryan Whedon, founder of Masters of Balayage and creator of Masters Academy. Join me each week for impactful conversations with industry leaders, icons, influencers, and trendsetters. Get ready to be inspired, learn from the pros, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Because let's face it, if we can't have fun talking about hair, we're doing it wrong. Let's get started. Today, I want to talk about this common topic, this theme that you hear a lot of entrepreneurs mentioning. Oh my God, there's somebody on my windows right now banging away. But you know what? This is real life. He's cleaning the windows and he's really getting in the way of my podcast. So I guess he's on a ladder. I could always just go and push him off. Should I do that? No, that would be bad. That would be bad. Isn't it weird, the thoughts that we have in our head? I'm just kidding. That wasn't a thought in my head. I was just trying to be funny. And this probably came across a little bit. Getting back to it. So imposter syndrome. You've heard about it. People talk about it. What the heck is imposter syndrome, and why is it this theme that keeps coming up, especially if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur? This theme about being an imposter syndrome, what does that mean? It means that deep down inside, we don't feel like we're ready to take on a role that's bigger than we ever thought we might be taking on. So let me just use me an example, because this is, I'm living my life and I have my own experiences, and this is how I can relate to you by sharing my own experiences and my own battles with imposter syndrome. My first bout with imposter syndrome was when I had to become a CEO of a company, where it's like the company was growing so big, Masters of Balayage, and we had all these moving parts, all this income coming in, and we started to build a team. And suddenly I had to step into this leadership role. I was no longer just the guy behind the computer or in front of the camera that was presenting the training. I had a team now, and I was building a team, and I had people that looked up to me. And I also had to, write checks to people too. I was their boss now, in a sense, and I don't like to necessarily be the boss, but I was the leader. I was the role model, hopefully. And being a CEO of a company, especially a big growing company, you suddenly realize, like, wow, these are some big shoes to fill, and I don't know how the fuck to do it. So I got to kind of, like, I hate to say it, but fake it till you make it, until you start to get that confidence. The only way you're ever going to get through feeling like you're not good enough for a role, in order to get that confidence that you feel like you need to put into a position like being the CEO, or a role that is above what you have normally done before, something that requires a lot more responsibility and accountability, you need to just dive into the fear, dive into the unknown, and just take on as much as you can, as quickly as you can, to get the experience you need to suddenly start to feel like, okay, I am good enough. Because that is the problem. That's what imposter syndrome was all about. We don't, at times in our life, feel like we're good enough, like we're the right fit for a particular role. And many of you know that I used to be a hairstylist behind the chair. That was one of my jobs that I took on, and started to develop my business around that. Until, just like you're starting out a new job, if you're a novice in something, you don't have the skills, you don't feel like an expert, you don't feel like you are good enough to give your clients the results they want. So how do you beat imposter syndrome? That's why we're here today, to learn how to overcome that feeling of inadequacy that we have inside of us. There's really only one way that I figured out in order to beat imposter syndrome and start to step into the role that you have either created for yourself or that you've moved into another company and have to fill. Experience and trust, and believing in yourself. I feel like trust and believing in yourself and believing that you're going to get there are kind of all in the same thing. But you got to have the experience. You got to create these small wins along the way. You're going to fail many, many times, and that's also not going to help you feel like you're any better than or more equipped for the role that you are now living. But you need to learn that those are just data points. We talked about that in a previous episode, that failures are just data points. You learn from those and you move forward, you fail forward. So in between those, you're going to have wins. You're going to learn what works. And those wins are going to start to strengthen your belief in yourself. And you're going to start to believe more. You're going to trust yourself. And the more experience you have, the more wins you have, the more confidence you're going to have, and the more you're going to get past and break through this feeling of being an imposter. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a hairstylist just starting out, we all wear lots of hats throughout the day, where any role that is brand new to us, we feel like we're a fish out of water. Like we don't know where to go with this. And the only way through it is just that, through it. You got to go through it. You got to charge forward, and you got to believe in yourself that you will get through it, have the confidence, and celebrate those little wins along the way. Now, this is a real quick one here. I hope you enjoyed it. It's okay if you feel like an imposter. Just know that you will get through it, but you got to keep stepping into the unknown until you start to really feel like I'm worth it. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Hair Hero. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. And don't forget to screenshot this episode and share it on Instagram, tagging us at Masters of Balayage. We'd love to see your posts and share them. Until next time, remember, be bold, be brave, be you. See you in the next episode.